What Halloween decoration did Wonder Woman make using her unbreakable rope? A lasso lantern. Welcome to Comic Book Editions Volume 215. Today, guest starring Wonder Woman. Big surprise being on the Magic Lasso channel, right? Right. Welcome to today's video. I'm so glad that you stopped by to check it out. Wonder Woman Day 2024 was yesterday, and today's video is an all Wonder Woman haul. In a way, this is kind of a follow-up to last week's video, which also was an all Wonder Woman haul. It was an AOK unboxing from my friend Tony, aka Signature King, who you see weekly on Fanboys Live and the Retro Review. One correction to the video that I posted last week, I did say in the video that Tony got the signatures for me at Terrificon. That is inaccurate. It was Baltimore Comic Con, and I knew that, but in the excitement of getting caught up in the moment, my mind switched. I have a lot of friends that go to the Terrificon, and sometimes they get signatures or things signed for me. And then Tony always goes to Baltimore Comic Con. So just making that amendment and correction right now before we get started in today's video. So I have a little bit of Wonder Woman merch to show. Then we're going to look at a couple Wonder Woman comic books, some incentives, and then we're going to do the guest starring Wonder Woman haul. That's what's lined up for Comic Book Editions Volume 215. Welcome once again. If you're new to my channel and haven't subscribed yet, I certainly would appreciate your support by subscribing. The algorithm loves it when you give this video a thumbs up, a heart, a like. I love reading your comments, and I'll be asking for those at the end of today's video, as your comments are welcomed, encouraged, and appreciated. Those are just some great ways that you can help support my channel. If you're a returning viewer and already take care of all of this every week that I drop a video, I am aware of it, and I do thank you for the continued support that you show me. You guys are awesome. Let's get started. We're going to start out with Wonder Woman swag, I said. How about a brand new cute little plushie that's been available for a couple months? This is something that can be found at Kohl's department store. So Kohl's has what they call Kohl's Cares, and it's a charity line, and they usually do some type of plush figure as their charity line, and currently they have superheroes. I think they have Wonder Woman and they have Batman, and all of the money goes to their Kohl's Cares Foundation. So you're supporting a nice little cause with your purchase, and she was so cute. I couldn't pass her by. I noticed that the Kohls in my town had been selling out on Wonder Woman, so I'm happy that I was able to snatch her up before she was gone. And then something else that I saw, I found this at a Five Below. It's this little mini Wonder Woman metal figure. And I remember a few years back, maybe, I don't know, 5 or 6, 7 years back, there was a whole series of these metal figures on different DC superheroes. They were taller than this, though, a little bit bigger than this, but they were super cool. And I had the whole set of them, although what frustrated me on the back of some of those, they advertised figures that ended up not getting produced. And I spent so much time scouring the internet, the interwebs, the eBays, for these figures that I eventually found out just never got produced because the line, I don't know what happened to the line, if it got canceled or what happened, but it was gone. But the dream of them being there lived on. But I was happy to see these figures at least in some incarnation, even though a lot tinier than they were originally, still live on, and I hope that's something that they continue to do. So check out Five Below if you're looking for a figure like this. They have some Marvel ones, and they have some other DC characters as well. And this way they have Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, and the Flash. Let's show some comic books, and we'll start with an incentive comic book. The latest issue of Wonder Woman, Volume 6, issue number 14, was released last week, last Wednesday. It's the current issue. There's a lot of stuff going on in this issue, and this is the 1 in 25 incentive cover for the issue. Big issue in terms of it's the birth of Trinity. You find out who Trinity's parents are. So there's life, there's also death in this issue. There's some touching moments. I completely understand how some Wonder Woman fans are not happy with how this story has gone, or Tom King's run on this story. I get that, and I get their frustration. I also get and understand the excitement and the new fan base that Tom King's writing on this series has brought forth as well. I get both of that. I talked a little bit about both of those issues a little more in depth last night when I was with Joel the Geek. He did a Wonder Woman Day live stream on his channel, and he invited me to be a guest. So I had so much fun collaborating and hanging out with Joel. It was such a good time, and I appreciate him so much asking me to come on. And like I said, we talked a little bit more in depth of what I was referring to with this latest issue last night. If you've read the issue or are reading the current series, with the exception of the all-in tie-ins, I'd love to know your feedback or your thought on how you think that the book of the series has been going so far, but specifically this issue number 14. I'd really like to know. Another exclusive that was recently released is this Adam Hughes exclusive. So this is Wonder Woman Volume 4, issue number 38. Originally, that comic book was published in 2015. This is back when David and Meredith Finch were the creative team on the title. I'm really unsure why they chose this book. And they chose this book also to have some exclusives at New York Comic Con. So at NYCC Comic Con, or NYCC this past weekend, they had another version of this that was foil. And this one's cropped a little bit. The other version of this is a faraway full body shot of Diana. They had a foil version of that was available. There was a Lyrics exclusive cover, which I liked. It had a lot of red in it. It was a nice cover. A classic Wonder Woman bun shot that was an alternate cover by David Finch was done in foil as an NYCC exclusive. But I just don't understand exactly why they picked this specific issue to do that with. I mean, it came out in 215. It wasn't the first issue that David and Meredith Finch did either when they took over the run on the title. So I'm a little bit puzzled why this, all these years later, decided to be the issue. But prior to the NYCC, this was an offering up. And as odd as I thought it was that they kept saying it's not a facsimile, it's a new printing. I don't know if that, I actually haven't opened my copy yet. I don't know if that means that it doesn't have the same advertisements as the original one did inside, thus not making it a facsimile. But also, is it really a facsimile when it has a different cover? I don't know. We could debate that for a while too. But I did get it. Thought it was like I said, odd choice for an issue to be featured. Also at NYCC, I should add, they did a foil variant for Wonder Woman issue 14. One of the variant covers was done as a foil. The DNA, the David Nakayama, was done as a foil. And then there was a Wonder Woman black and gold variant as well that were sold as a set as NYCC exclusives. I have bought those, so you will see those on my channel in a feature comic book editions video. Let's jump into guest starring Wonder Woman. I've actually done guest starring Wonder Woman videos in the past. Earlier this year in Comic Book Editions Volume 181, I did my second guest starring Wonder Woman, but the very first time that I did one of those videos on my channel was last year, and that was Comic Book Editions Volume 152, where I just showed a bunch of comic books where Wonder Woman was a guest star in there. Third time's a charm, and we're going for it now, starting with this Hawkman issue. So this is Hawkman Volume 3, issue number 4 from 1993. This is one of these. And you've heard me mention this before, actually in other Wonder Woman guest star appearances. I think it was actually in Comic Book Editions 181 I mentioned this too. Sometimes like she shows up on the last page, but that's so spectacular that she ends up making it on the cover, where really the cover would probably be better for the following issue. That's this entire story. So the entire basis of this story is all of the characters are running around in other people's bodies. And at the end, when they head to the Justice League satellite, the villain has gained access because he's mind-controlled Wonder Woman. So she makes an appearance like on the very last page, and that's it. We will stick with Hawkman. This time it's guest starring Diana. I do think that this is an awesome cover. Cover was done by Lee Weeks, and this is from 1995. It's Hawkman Volume 3, issue 16. This was the era when Diana had lost the contest and Artemis became the new Wonder Woman. But Diana still went back to man's world, and she was just known as Diana, and she wore this outfit, the little halter top and the hot pants, and it was kind of known, or has been kind of referred to by the Wonder Woman fans as the biker chick era of Wonder Woman. And it really drew me to it for this cover and for the fact that it was one of those appearances that Diana made during the Artemis era of Artemis as Wonder Woman. So I was very regimented in just buying Wonder Woman titles only and not really getting caught up in all the guest appearances. That's kind of how my budget laid out. But in the last couple of years, I've loosened that budget some and I've gone back and started picking up more of these books, which is what you're seeing in today's comic book editions video. Up next, Hawkworld Volume 2, but also issue number 16. This was published in 1991, and I love the Wonder Woman versus Hawkgirl here, or Hawkwoman on the cover. It's a War of the Gods tie-in. War of the Gods, man, it's an amazing book artistically. Like George Perez, once again, he never, goes halfway with anything. He draws his heart and soul into every single page and loads everything up with details, and it's amazing. The story itself, although I know that was a particular favorite story, The War of the Gods for George Perez, the story myself isn't one of my particular favorites. It is the first time that Wonder Woman was the focus of an all-company crossover, and it was done in commemoration of her 50th anniversary. I have the War of the Gods Omnibus, which I've showed in a previous comic book editions video. We've retro-reviewed War of the Gods on Fanboys Live in the retro review. It's all right. It's all right. But you really do need all the crossovers to understand the full picture, because if you just go from War of the Gods issue 1 to issue 2, the characters have changed locations and major things have happened to them in between. So it's one where the crossovers do count. Here's a book that I thought was fantastic. It's Secret 6, Volume 3. This is issue number 12, published in 2009. So Gail Simone is the writer. Nicola Scott did the interior artwork. This was really good. We have Wonder Woman in this. We also have Artemis in this. Artemis after she came back from the dead. And just a great issue. I would like to pick up more of the surrounding issues with Wonder Woman's appearance from this storyline because I enjoyed it so much. I don't know how this was off my radar at the time that it was originally published, or if it was one of those that I just mentioned before. I just strictly stuck to the Wonder Woman only title and kind of ignored the guest appearances, but this one was good. One thing that I found, some of the Wonder Woman guest appearances are really good, and some of them aren't. It's literally like a teeter-totter. Some issues that she guest stars in, it's fantastic, and other issues she guest stars in is just not my thing. This one was my thing. Aquaman Annual, issue number 2. This is from volume 7 of Aquaman, and it was published in 2014. They have 2 stories in there. In the first story, it's Aquaman and Wonder Woman together. It was an all right story. But the second smaller story is a continuation in a way, but it's just Wonder Woman and Mera. And I like the combination of the two of those together. So at the end of the first story, Aquaman kind of takes off and Diana says, I'll stay here, and Mera ends up showing up to help her with what remains left in the cleanup and what they have to take care of. I like that. Continuing stories like that. Like I said, I really liked Wonder Woman and Mera. There's not as much Wonder Woman and Mera together as I would have enjoyed, especially, I wish there was much more Wonder Woman and Mera Bronze Age interaction, but there just isn't. Added it into the collection just because it was very affordable. All these books pretty much that I'm showing you, you can find in the, I don't want to say dollar bin, because some of them are more than $1, but definitely if you're paying $5 for these books, that's even a little expensive. So definitely affordable books. Superman, Volume 2, Issue 118. This was published in 1996. It's The Quest of Lois Lane. And that is the majority of what the story focuses on, Lois Lane's quest. And I remember, it's been a while since I read this issue, but I remember her being in the cold mountains, like the Andes Mountains or something. Maybe it wasn't the Andes, but she was in like a cold mountain-esque area on her quest. And the other part of the story is Superman has been losing some of his powers, so he's in a lab testing his strength, and Wonder Woman is there offering moral support for him too. So she does make, you know, a decent appearance in the book. Ron Friends, is it Ron Friends? Yeah, he's the cover artist. Hopefully I pronounced his last name correctly. Cover artist and interior artist for this. And then I'm going to wrap up with Superman issue 661. Kurt Busiek wrote this story. It's from 2007. And I loved this. I wish I could remember because it's been well over a year. I know, if not maybe 2 years. Someone on YouTube just randomly showed this book in a pile of books that they picked up in a haul that they picked up at a comic store. And I was like, oh, that cover is so good, because the cover is very reminiscent for me of Bronze Age covers, where it kind of shows the action that's inside the story. This entire issue was fantastic. It's just a one-issue read. You don't really had to have read the previous issue or the next issue to get the gist of the story, and I loved it. This and The Secret Six were my favorites out of this guest starring Wonder Woman portion of the video that we did today. Loved this one a lot. And that brings us to the end of what I have to share for Wonder Woman, guest starring Wonder Woman comic books in Comic Book Editions Volume 215. Let me tell you about some stuff, and I know I'll be repeating myself a little bit, okay? So this past Sunday, we did a cheetah-themed Fanboys Live and the Retro Review with Signature King, Tony Fett. We reviewed a Priscilla Rich Bronze Age story that takes place in the Golden Age. It was published in the Bronze Age, but it takes place in the Golden Age. So the original Cheetah. Then we did Wonder Woman 274 and 275, which is the death of Priscilla Rich and the introduction of her niece, Debbie Domain, as the new Cheetah. Those 3 issues are 3 of my all-time favorite Wonder Woman comic books, and we retro reviewed those this past weekend. If you didn't catch that, it's on the rewind for you to enjoy right now. My back issue of the week YouTube short, that's back issue of the week number 147, dropped yesterday morning. It's about the mod era non-power Diana prints. And it's Wonder Woman number 199 with a very classic bondage cover. So that short, if you want to learn what happens in that issue, I mean, classic Jeff Jones cover that has been, maybe not so much homage published-wise, but I mean, a lot of people have drawn their version of it in sketches or commissions and stuff too. You see it posted a lot. That back issue of the week YouTube short is on my YouTube channel right now. Last night, I did a Wonder Woman Live with Joel the Geek that I mentioned earlier. You have this Comic Book Editions Wonder Woman themed video right now. Tonight, I'm going to be on Gary B, the Casual Comic Guy's channel for the 1011. It's going to be an all Wonder Woman edition, and I'm really looking forward to visiting with him. So I've been a guest on the 1011 before, and I've showed a little bit of Wonder Woman, but this is going to be an all Wonder Woman 1011. So that's at 8 p.m. Central. No, I'm sorry. 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central tonight on Gary B, the Casual Comic Guy's YouTube channel. And of course, you can always check the collaborations playlist folder here on my channel for appearances that I made on other folks' channel. And I always enjoy getting to interact and collaborate with my friends and fellow creators and buddies here in the comic book YouTube community. Wonder Woman Wednesday will be a post tomorrow on my Instagram. As a matter of fact, I'm doing a week of Wonder Woman on my Instagram, and I've been posting Wonder Woman comic books. I started this past Sunday, and I'll go through Saturday. So follow me on Instagram at The Magic Lasso is where you can find me over there. What did you think about what I showed today? I'd love to get your feedback and your comments. As I said before, they're welcomed, encouraged, and appreciated. Let's dialogue about Wonder Woman or anything else that you want to in the comments section below. Thank you for making it to the end of this Comic Book Editions video today. I will catch you next week. Until then, take care. Bye.